Tsuut'ina Nation's chief charged in 2 historical sexual assaults. Roy Whitney reacts to the allegations. Constitutional or not? Provincial judge reviews a proposed Alberta separation referendum question.
They didn't discontinue my account. They just stole the points.
And a Calgary man's angst after Air Miles retires thousands of dollars in loyalty points.
CTV Calgary, local breaking news with Camilla Di Giuseppe.
Good evening. The long-term chief of Tsuut'ina Nation has been charged with sexual offenses. Police say the assaults took place decades ago, that the victims were Tsuut'ina members, and that there may be more complainants. Whitney's lawyer says the 71-year-old turned himself in on Wednesday. Last November, Edmonton police started looking into an incident dating back to 1994 at the West Edmonton Mall. Soon after, they became aware of a second situation that occurred in 2025 in the Stony Plain Road and 178th Street area. Both complainants were men in their 30s. In a statement, Roy Whitney denies any wrongdoing, saying in part, "I unequivocally deny these allegations. They are false and without merit. I believe in truth and due process, and I will fully cooperate with any lawful proceedings to ensure the facts are made clear. Until that time, I ask our citizens and the public to withhold judgment and avoid speculation." Whitney's lawyer says the allegations are baseless.
There's no intention of stepping down. These allegations, again, shouldn't take the nation's eye off their business that they're supposed to be doing. And I look at it this way: anyone who's put this much of his life into the nation to build it up to what it is now certainly doesn't want to be seen as someone who's going to back down from a fight, and he's not that kind of person.
As you heard, Roy Whitney's lawyer confirming he will not be stepping down as chief, a position he first held in 1984. Prior to that, Whitney served as a counselor for 8 years. We also spoke to a sexual assault support group, which says it's important for victims to come forward no matter how long it has been.
We know that there are disclosures of historical abuse every day. We see it every day. We have people that come in who were abused, 30, 40, 50 years ago. Yesterday, being told that they're, that the police are receptive to hearing from them, I think is a really positive thing.
In Canada, there is no time limit to report a sexual assault to authorities. Edmonton police believe there could be more complainants, and they want to hear from them. Calgary police homicide investigators have officially taken over a years-old missing persons cold case. Officials revealing today they've identified human remains found outside of the city May 2024, and they suspect foul play. Tim Brooke has more.
Robert Stanley Mainland, also known as Bobby or Bubbles, was last seen in January 2023 near this Forest Lawn convenience store. The 65-year-old's disappearance brought on extensive searches that ultimately came up empty until now.
We believe that Robert was the victim of foul play, and his death is being investigated as a homicide.
Calgary police say human remains found outside of the city in May 2024 have been identified as Mainland.
Due to the state of the remains, it took several months to positively identify Robert.
Police won't say exactly where he was found or when they think he was killed, but the homicide unit did say his death is likely not connected to any other investigations.
We are continuing to investigate every lead that we have in relation to this, and this will not stop until we find out what happened.
On social media, the Mainland family writes about enduring a horrible nightmare over the last 2 years, but they write they now have some closure knowing their brother has been found. But the work isn't done. Police want help from Calgarians, specifically those in Forest Lawn.
And it's our belief, that there are people within the community that may have direct knowledge of his disappearance.
Tim Brooke, CTV News, Calgary.
A retired Calgary physician and vocal critic of water fluoridation has been sanctioned by the College of Physicians and Surgeons of Alberta. Dr. Robert Dixon heads the group Safe Water Calgary. He was sanctioned related to comments on fluoride in the water supply made in 2017. The college found Dixon impugned the credibility and integrity of specific medical and dental colleagues. Dixon acknowledged that his conduct was unprofessional. He must pay part of the cost of the investigation, totaling more than $6,000. A possible referendum question about Alberta separation was part of a special court hearing today. At the request of Alberta's chief electoral officer, a judge is now considering whether the question violates the Constitution. As Alicia Fieldberg reports, experts say this is the latest obstacle in an uphill battle.
While some wonder whether or not Alberta should separate from Canada, the person in charge of Alberta elections wonders whether the wording of a proposed referendum question should even be allowed on a ballot. The province's chief electoral officer asked a judge to weigh in on whether or not it violates the Constitution.
This is nothing more or less than an attempt at delay, and from our perspective, it's an abusive process.
The question proposed by separatist group Alberta Prosperity Project: do you agree that the province of Alberta shall become a sovereign country and cease to be a province in Canada? The Premier and Justice Minister pushed back against the electoral officer, now saying Alberta's government believes that the proposal is not unconstitutional and therefore should be approved and permitted to proceed.
For a first time in the history of this province, and probably in Canada, Premier and the Minister of Justice, who's a lawyer himself, have decided to direct the Elections Commissioner on what he should and should not do.
Well, we don't think that the province is lining up on our side with this matter. They're simply saying that there's legislation in place that's clearly intended to have Albertans vote on issues of public importance.
And that's why Luke Hasek has his own petition underway to ask whether Alberta should remain in Canada rather than separate.
The vast majority of us want nothing to do with it. We want to focus on what's good for Canada, what's good for Alberta, and frankly, what's good for Canada internationally.
While in Calgary, Canada's Conservative leader suggested focusing on the energy sector instead.
And what they're saying is the era of pay up and shut up has got to come to an end. Alberta deserves a better deal within Canada. And one of the ways we make that happen, one of the ways we unite our country, is to produce our resources.
Experts say the battle over the possible referendum questions is just a sample of the long, expensive process separation would involve.
There are exit routes out of Canada, but they would be painful, protracted, and unbelievably costly to the people of Alberta in ways that this province has to have a serious conversation about.
Alicia Fieldberg, CTV News, Calgary.
The judge will be back next week to determine whether or not this question violates the Constitution. Gina is in with our first look at the weather, and the weather during the summer is never boring around these parts.
Like a workout today, forecasting all the storms that we saw this afternoon. Luckily, a little calm right now. It's kind of the intermission before the main act that we're going to see tomorrow. So yeah, very active day today that we'll talk about in Maine weather, that massive system circulating over Alberta right now. Obviously keeping things pretty cool out there. So 11 degrees for your low tonight, cloudy conditions. We'll start to see the rain move in tomorrow morning, bringing once again the potential for some thunderstorms in the afternoon and a chilly high of just 17 degrees. We'll break this all down in your 5-day forecast coming up.
Thank you, Gina. And earlier this evening, a tornado warning south of the city. Folks shared with us images of a funnel cloud forming between Nanton and Claresholm. No confirmation yet if it touched down. And north of the city, a heavy downpour in Airdrie this afternoon, producing pea to dime-sized hail and turning roads and parking lots into lakes thanks to all the rain. In Calgary, we were bracing for a couple rounds of severe thunderstorms. The sky was very ominous. It looked like it wanted to unleash, but the action was mainly isolated. A Calgary art organization is launching a new competition aimed at putting Canadian plein air painting on the map. The public is invited to see the magic unfold this weekend as the artists paint live on location in Fish Creek Park. Kevin Green reports.
Whatever. That's it. Doug Levitt isn't just painting, he's scouting the terrain along Fish Creek. He's one of the judges in this weekend's inaugural Canada Paints Plein Air competition.
We're hoping that it will grow and grow because there is a plein air circuit in North America, but it doesn't touch Canada particularly.
8 juried artists face off to complete a painting in just 4 hours. The scene kept secret until the competition starts. It's all part of a push to raise the profile of plein air art in Canada. The president of Canada Paints Plein Air says the group's vision goes beyond just this weekend and outside our city.
We want to make sure that more people are aware and build a Canadian presence in the plein air painting practice.
Levitt says Calgary, with its mix of urban parks, ranchlands, and mountain views, is the perfect place for plein air artists to thrive.
Calgary should be a plein air mecca. It should be a destination for any plein air artist, period.
Painting outdoors brings its own challenges, changing sunlight, fast-moving shadows, but it also invites the public to experience art as it's made.
I think there's an immediate fascination watching something being created in real time. Like there's a depth to this as an audience member that is absolutely fascinating.
Anyone can take part in the competition as a wild card artist by signing up on site Saturday morning, and after the judges make their picks, everything created that day goes on the auction block.
People will just come and they can just buy the piece and just have the cool feeling of knowing they painted that 2 hours ago, or they painted that 1 hour ago. Like it's trippy. It's very fun.
The event is Canada Paints Plein Air's first ever competition. The group aims to make it an annual event and hopes to see similar competitions across Canada. Kevin Green, CTV News, Calgary.
The Calgary Zoo has welcomed 2 new litters of Vancouver Island marmot pups. They are amongst Canada's rarest mammals and were born through the zoo's specialized breeding program. The Wilder Institute staff built habitat resembling the marmot's home in the wild, allowing the pups to be born underground. In the 1990s, only 30 of these creatures remained. Thanks to conservation efforts, there are 350 in the wild. Still to come, there's a new top cop in Alberta. We'll meet the officer who once served with Calgary Police and is now heading the RCMP.
You're watching CTV News, Calgary.
A Calgary man is speaking out after his Air Miles account was drained of nearly 25,000 points. He says the loyalty program never warned him that his account had become inactive, even though those points were worth thousands of dollars. Mark Villani has more.
Todd Woodbeck has been collecting Air Miles for over 30 years, but says his longtime loyalty was erased in a flash.
I was very angry. Very angry. I mean, I picked up the phone immediately and called Air Miles.
Woodbeck says he hadn't used his Air Miles card in some time until earlier this year when he swiped it at a Shell gas station. He got 2 miles for that purchase, but when he logged into his account, nearly 25,000 points were gone. The equivalent of about $8,000 vanished because of more than 2 years of inactivity. Woodbeck had also spent over $1,500 buying extra miles for travel, now all lost.
I mean, come on, a loyal customer for 35 plus years.
Air Miles confirms the points were not expired, but retired due to inactivity. To maintain an active account, collectors must earn, redeem, or transfer miles within 24 months. If no activity occurs, the account will be considered inactive. As part of our commitment to transparency, collectors are proactively notified before any changes to their account status.
They have my address, they have my phone number. I never got anything in the mail. I never got a call.
Loyalty rewards experts say cases like Woodbeck's aren't uncommon, but they serve as a wake-up call for all collectors to stay engaged with their accounts.
I tell a lot of people to treat their loyalty program accounts kind of like their bank accounts, that you should be checking them, relatively frequently. And it's not just for the expiry, it's even for fraud.
The warning comes as other programs also make big changes. Starting January 1st, 2026, Aeroplan will base points on dollars spent rather than distance flown.
People have to learn about the changes to see how it affects them as far as their spending habits.
But Woodbeck hopes his spending didn't go to waste, encouraging others to stay vigilant and calling on Air Miles to reimburse him.
Do the right thing.
Mark Villani, CTV News, Calgary.
Loyalty program experts say the easiest way to avoid losing points is to keep your account active. And if you know you won't be using your account for a while, reach out to the program ahead of time. Air Miles would not comment on whether they would give those 25,000 points back to Woodbeck. The torch has been passed within the Alberta RCMP's K Division. Trevor Daru, a former deputy chief with the Calgary Police Service, has been named deputy commissioner.
We know that we can't serve the community unless our people are taken care of. So we're going to work very hard to ensure that our people have the support networks that they need to have. And secondly, the other priority that we have that's equal to that is our communities. It's our communities that decide whether they're safe or they're not.
Alberta RCMP's newest commanding officer retired from the CPS in 2017 and spent the last 8 years with the Mounties. He comes into the role after serving as the province's criminal operations officer. Daru takes over command of K Division from outgoing Deputy Commissioner Rob Hill, who spent 27 years with the RCMP.
We police 75% of Canada's landmass and about 22% of the population. That strength alone of getting the message out to law enforcement that's covering 75% of this country is a strong message.
Daru adds that although governed by a national body, his officers take pride in catering to the policing needs of each individual community in Alberta. They're bright yellow, instantly recognizable, and this year Caterpillar is marking a key milestone. The company behind the heavy-duty construction equipment is 100 years old. And as Kevin Fleming reports, Pioneer Acres near Irricana is celebrating that achievement this weekend.
Volunteers at Pioneer Acres are moving equipment around the property to get everything ready for their 3-day event. It's the 55th annual show, and every year it features a different brand of machinery. This year it's celebrating a century of Caterpillar equipment.
The company started 100 years ago, 1925, but they didn't start from scratch. They were the merger between two competing companies, Holt and Best, and Mr. Holt had actually got a patent and invented the track system for the tractors. Because where he was selling tractors, they had the kind of soil that wheels didn't work very well on.
Ole Olson spent a career working on the big machines and remembers fixing one that was hit by a train. He says they were built well and are powerful.
The D8 there, you're looking at an engine that's probably, I'm not 100% sure, but it's probably it's over the 300 horse. But the torque on it is astronomical because of the tracks, the gearing. So yes, they got tons of power.
The museum also has about 40 antique trucks like this Ottawa with a Cat engine that Harry Redding says is in perfect working condition.
Diesel engines in highway transport started in the late 20s, early 30s, but really didn't become popular until the 1950s. You started to see them more in transport trucks in the United States and here in Canada.
The museum covers a large area, and while it's filled with historic equipment, there are also other exhibits about southern Alberta farm life for visitors to learn about.
We have a wonderful Singer sewing machine display this year. There's an awesome quilting display. We have a bake sale, fresh baked buns. Yesterday they were busy baking buns in the kitchen.
Organizers say there will be close to 5,000 people attend the event over 3 days. Kevin Fleming, CTV News, near Irricana.
All right, Gina's up next with her Skywatch forecast, and Friday is going to be a wet one, but then the weekend things are shaping up to be a great one. Details next.
We're getting a bit of a breather overnight after a very active afternoon and evening. This is a shot from a little earlier today of a massive system that's circulating over Alberta, BC, and parts of the states right now, and Saskatchewan as well. So definitely produced a lot of watches and warnings today, even a tornado warning briefly for the Claresholm and surrounding area as funnel clouds were visible along Highway 2 South there throughout the early evening. Obviously, when these storms moved into, it cools down the temperature. So while our forecast high was 21 degrees, 19 is all we got to before those storms moved in and cooled things off. And tomorrow, we don't see much improvement, only aiming for a high of 17 as that system that we just saw pushes rain from the north into Calgary. We've been talking about this for a couple of days now, and now it's right on our doorstep. Picking up our future cast here right around 1 on Friday morning. So a lot of that rain forecast to be to the west of us in the Banff area up into Rocky Mountain House, and then it starts to move our way. As we get to around, I would say as early as 6 in the morning, throughout that morning commute, you definitely anticipate the rain to start falling in the Calgary area, and then you see it starts to push down south. So Lethbridge will see heavy rain a little later in the afternoon, and it starts to dissipate throughout the Calgary and to the south of us right around the supper hour. But there's still the potential for some strong winds out of the north throughout the afternoon, and the potential for thunderstorm development as well. We've talked about this model and how sometimes it can be a little touch and go with convection. So just keeping that in your mind here, that there is the chance for thunderstorms tomorrow as well. And then there's that nice clearing as we get into Saturday morning. There should be a mainly sunny afternoon for you, and that'll carry on into Sunday as well. But here's the next 24 hours. We see that rain pick up, just like I was telling you, right around 6, 7 o'clock there, and tapering off later in the afternoon. And again, cool temperatures for the broadcast region, getting into the high teens for most areas on Friday. And then we get more of that sunshine back on tap for Saturday, Sunday, and that'll help warm things up, get us closer to seasonal. But if you're in Brooks, Medicine Hat, this might linger into Saturday a little bit as well before you see that improvement. But after Friday for us, we get 2 solid days of sunshine on Saturday and Sunday with some nice temperatures to boot, and really this high pressure system sticking around until late Tuesday, where we could see some evening showers.
We'll enjoy it while we can. Thanks, Gina. Some Calgary kids got to try a new sport today, and they learned from the best, an Olympic gold medalist.
Everyone in 6 eats, sleeps, and drinks basketball. Yeah, every single day, play every single day, go to every single tournament. They even go to the States for tournaments.
Thousands of athletes are now competing at the 2025 Alberta Indigenous Games in Edmonton. Some early action today included basketball, soccer, ball hockey, and softball. Today marks the first of a 10-day competition that features more than 7,000 Indigenous athletes competing in 18 different sports. All Sport One Day is back, encouraging kids to try new sports. Two-time Olympic medalist Kasia Gryczela-Wysierski was on hand at South Centre Mall to show off her accolades. Kids also getting the chance to try fencing, one of 50 sports on offer during the one-day event. Another former Olympian says the event is a great way to try something new.
You can go to like 4 different sports throughout the city in the day. There's 4 different time slots, so you could do 4 different sports in one day for free. Kind of dip your toe in, see what's interesting to you and your family. I think it's just a great way for Calgarians to get active.
All Sport One Day is on August 16th. Online registration launched tonight. You can find out more information and sign up at sportcalgary.ca. Looks like a great initiative. That's it for us here at CTV News at 11:30. Thank you for watching. We'll see you soon. Have a great night.